The instant this tale hit the internet, individuals didn't even know what they were looking at. Was it an answer? Was it the shade? Was it a warning? Or was it Yandy finally breaking her silence in the most surprising, cryptic way possible? At first, no one could tell. The moment fans saw the ambiguous black and white Instagram story with a single line that seemed innocuous at first but had enough tension to split the room in two, the entire feed froze. All it stated was, "God reveals truth in strange ways." Nothing more. Avoid using emojis. No justification. No follow-up. And that was enough to throw the entire Love and Hip Hop fanbase into meltdown mode due to the timing. Utterly wild. Kirk Frost had just stirred the pot more than he has in years by implying that Yandy had a past she wasn't talking about. And now Yandy drops a line that sounds like a clapback wrapped inside a spiritual quote. People were frantically trying to figure it out. Was she accusing Kirk of lying? Was she implying that there was more to the tale? Or was she warning someone that receipts don't lie? More worse, minutes after the item disappeared because, yes, she removed it nearly instantly. She tweeted an old footage from the show where she looked directly at the camera and said, "People love to talk when they think no one will challenge them." No tag, no name, no background. Only a flashback with a message strong enough to make fans gasp. Screenshots are all over the place. Twitter threads burst. Bloggers went live within seconds. Comments remarked they hadn't seen Yandy this bold in years. Others claimed she seemed fed up, done, and tired of being dragged into drama she didn't sign up for. The discussion then took an entirely new turn as people realized the connection between Kirk's recent comments and Yandy's unexpected social media activities. Some thought she was revealing him without doing so. Others claimed that by refusing to go low, she was defending her house. Perhaps the loudest take of all was the one nobody expected. Supporters started arguing Yandy wasn't just responding. She was firing the first genuine shot. When the internet was still, tempting to figure out what Yandy's cryptic posts meant, something even stranger began happening around her. People noted that her entire online demeanor changed immediately after she removed her little Instagram tail. She didn't disappear, but her stillness suddenly felt weighty, like she was holding something in. Fans began complaining that the time was too precise to be coincidental, particularly since Kirk was talking about things from her past. It seemed as though she spoke silently. Before stepping back to observe everyone scurrying, the topic grew louder when a fan page re-uploaded an old Love and Hip Hop clip that emerged out of nowhere. In that tape, Yandy was in the middle of a furious fight, nearly gazing straight through the camera while declaring that individuals adore twisting things until they are caught in their own lies. She wasn't talking about Kirk in that episode back then. But because of things occurring today, viewers immediately linked the dots. Some said the clip felt like a message she had been sitting on for years, waiting for the ideal opportunity to reappear. Nevertheless, other viewers searched even deeper and found up interviews where Rashida once made comments regarding cast members who act polished but aren't actually trustworthy behind the scenes. Nobody paid attention to that line when she uttered it. But suddenly, people were putting Yandy's face next to it and asking if Rashida had been hinting at her all along. Suddenly, a one-schooling drama was heating up again. With every detail being scrutinized like evidence in a court of law, with all this happening, Kirk's name was getting pulled into the spotlight. Followers started coming up with hypotheses that maybe he only provoked this issue because he wanted focus away from his own frequent controversies. Some stated he was weary of always being the villain when the cheating issue came back around every season. So he stirred something up that would shift the narrative onto someone else. Others observed that he appeared almost relieved in his most recent appearance, as if the pressure had finally shifted from him to someone else's home for once. On Yandy's end, she shared a photo that increased people's suspicions. That wasn't a fresh picture, but a flashback of her standing on a red carpet, appearing composed and unbothered. "Energy tells the truth when people don't," was the caption beneath it. And that one statement alone ignited every comment section. Some supporters felt she was calling out Kirk directly, while others said she was calling out anyone who was believing whatever he implied. Some even claimed that she was speaking directly to her supporters, cautioning them against being swayed by false information. However, Mendices was nowhere to be seen. No live, no post, no strange message, nothing. And that quiet made him look even more committed. Murmurs were spreading that maybe he didn't approve of how Kirk brought up Yandy's name, or that he was attempting to stay calm so he wouldn't escalate matters publicly. A blogger claimed they heard from someone close to the situation that Mendices was furious when he heard the rumors and felt like Kirk violated a limit by pulling his wife into something that had nothing to do with him. Fans were led to believe that a private altercation may have taken place behind the scenes by the blogger's description of his response. Even though they did not provide any evidence, people started rewatching earlier videos of Mendices, pointing out how defensive he becomes anytime his family is disparaged. They claimed that Mendices' silence wasn't an indication of weakness, but rather that he was attempting to keep the situation from blowing up. If Kirk truly made any significant suggestions about Yandy's history, some even remarked that since it would be a completely different kind of episode, the producers were probably hoping he didn't show up at Kirk's house unexpectedly. A small shift emerged on Yandy's stream as admirers kept searching for hints. She started loving statements that hinted at being misunderstood or falsely judged, although she didn't say anything explicitly. It seemed as though she was nodding slightly to those who supported her by liking such remarks. One comment she liked said, "They love to speak on what they don't know," while another said, "Truth doesn't panic." Each like was regarded as a clue, as if she was setting breadcrumbs for viewers to follow. The scenario got even uglier when a short audio clip from a podcast was republished online. On the clip, someone commented how reality stars often utilize imprecise remarks to steer talks without getting into legal issues. Supporters were certain that this was shade targeted at Yandy and how she replied to Kirk's comments. Some individuals said that Yandy had mastered the technique of communicating in puzzles, knowing her admirers would decode everything for her. Others argued that by protecting herself and still expressing her point, she was being astute. One thing became evident from all of this conjecture. The conflict between their houses had been smoldering for a while. Rashida and Yandy always seemed to maintain a courteous distance from one another, whereas Kirk and Mendices never had the best friendship. Now, following Kirk's purported comments and Yandy's mysterious responses, people were speculating that the distance was survival rather than civility. Back on social media, a few followers argued that maybe Yandy wasn't even referring to Kirk at all. Maybe she was just blogging regularly, and others blew everything out of proportion since the timing appeared suspicious. However, those who were certain they were seeing a quiet war quickly drowned out their voices. The thought that two families, two marriages, like two sets of secrets were now knotted together made the entire narrative feel broader than just one rumor. The more time went, the more reactions flowed in. Some people vehemently defended Yandy, claiming that she never engages in trivial drama and that Kirk ought to concentrate on his own marriage, rather than causing problems in another person's. Others suggested that Yandy's silence was actually confirmation that something must have hit a nerve. And then there were the people who just wanted to sit back and watch the entire situation play out because every hour brought a new twist they didn't expect. The mood around the scenario kept altering, almost like everyone was bracing for someone to finally say something explicitly, something that would move everything from whispers to chaos. And that tension kept increasing because even though no one had addressed anything openly, it felt like they were preparing for the moment. Someone finally did. Then, precisely when the discourse seemed to reach its climax, something else happened that pushed the whole scenario into an even odd path, making many think that whatever was going behind the scenes was far deeper than anyone first realized. Something unexpected entered the discourse as the internet. Pandemonium continued to escalate. Although no one could verify if the screenshot was authentic or altered, a minor rumor portal claimed that Yandy had unfollowed someone associated with Kirk, but the rumor alone was enough to stir fresh conflicts, because celebrities utilize unfollows to communicate silent signals when words are insufficient. Many began to claim that unfollows are the new equivalent of throwing hands. Some insisted it was Photoshop, but others looked at the screenshot like it was a crime scene photo and began examining every pixel as if their life depended on it. Suddenly, an even odd detail arose. A Twitter user claimed they noticed a comment under one of Yandy's previous postings that said, "Funny how the past keeps coming back when certain people feel irrelevant." The person swore it wasn't there before, suggesting that someone from Yandy's circle had put it and removed it immediately. The timing lit up the internet, whether it was real or not. Supporters said the comment virtually screamed that someone felt targeted, and with Kirk's name already swirling around in speculations, people concluded the shade was meant straight at him. In the midst of all of this, neither Kirk nor Rashida had spoken, at least not in public. They maintained their daily routines like nothing had happened. Kirk published a slow-motion video of himself working out, seemingly unaware that he was in the middle of a storm, while Rashida shared her typical business footage, grinning with her boutique employees. Several admirers remarked that Kirk was probably enjoying the attention quietly, while Rashida was pretending not to see any of the remarks, tagging her every few minutes. Things took a sharper turn when a podcaster published a brief video indicating that their industry contact confirmed Mendices was unhappy about how the matter was snowballing. Even though Kirk's comments were ambiguous, they said he believed they allowed people to fabricate negative stories about Yandy. The podcaster added that Mendices had always drawn a line when it came to people using Yandy's name for clout, and this time the boundary had been crossed in a way that seemed personal. Despite the lack of evidence, the podcaster's certain tone gave the impression that they were an expert on the subject. The internet seized onto this concept so strongly that now people were envisioning an entire confrontation that might not have happened at all. Some others thought that Kirk and Mendices had already had a heated private exchange. Others speculated that Rashida may have intervened to defuse the situation, since she detests messy drama associated with her business. And a few people claim that producers of the show might be racing to get cameras ready just in case something actual sparked between the two families. While all of this happened, a new wave of rumors surfaced when a fan saw that Yandy had liked a post about being wrongly accused and staying silent because the truth doesn't need defending. Once again, she didn't write anything, but the like itself was enough to launch a whole new debate. Some believed she was confirming she wasn't worried by the chaos. Others contended that unless something had irritated her, she wouldn't be participating at all. Then someone saw that Yandy frequently used likes, reposts, and old videos to convey her ideas rather than writing out her true emotions. The fan community broke into two camps: those who thought Yandy was being clever and letting the drama balloon itself, and those who believed she was wounded but didn't want to show it. Both sides had enough proof to make their theories convincing. Somebody repeated that old show clip of her talking about honesty and betrayal like it was some prophecy she left behind for occasions, exactly like this. Meanwhile, Yandy posted a fast boomerang in her kitchen, smiling quietly while cooking a soup. Although it appeared innocuous, observers reported that she didn't appear to be her normal, radiant self. They pulled apart the micro-expressions on her face, claiming that her smile seemed worn, forced, almost as if she was keeping something within. She appeared to have shed tears earlier, according to several remarks, which further increased conjecture. Just as this was spinning, an account claiming to be a former crew member placed a long comment under a Gossip Pages post. They said that the cast had seen unpleasant moments that were never broadcast and that the tension between Yandy and Kirk had been building for years. According to this report, there were times Kirk felt overshadowed anytime Yandy spoke about loyalty or family structure, because he knew supporters perceived him as the opposite of what she represented. This anonymous commenter claimed that if Kirk was verbally or emotionally challenged, He would frequently bring up other people's pasts. No one knew if the commenter was authentic, but the details were juicy enough for the internet to go with it. Individuals started circulating the idea that Kirk's latest words weren't random, they were purposeful. Building on years of quiet animosity between him and Yandy. Some claimed that, although the cast maintained a professional demeanor for the cameras, things were far from tranquil behind the scenes. The moment that sent everything into a further spiral then arrived. A fuzzy photo of a man who appeared to be Mendices arguing angrily with someone who looked like Kirk at an event months ago was shared on a little page. The picture was blurry enough that it might have been anyone, but admirers didn't care. They started creating entire timelines, attempting to match clothing, surroundings, shadows, and everything else that would connect the enigmatic image to an actual event. Some claimed that the picture's body language conveyed stress, while others thought it appeared to be a typical conversation captured in a dramatic moment. The picture exacerbated the already dire situation, despite the fact that it could not be verified. Bloggers adored it. Commentators thought it was fantastic. Viewers loved it. Everyone was certain they were watching a story evolve piece by piece. Even if those pieces didn't fully connect, Yandy resumed her tendency of replying without responding. She shared a quiet, serene video of herself typing on her laptop and lighting a candle while soothing music played in the background. It was the kind of message that may imply nothing at all, but admirers began to interpret it in light of the upheaval. Some felt the candle symbolizes clarity. Others stated she was telling everyone that she was concentrating on her task, not the noise. However, the most common comment was she looked like a woman who knew something that everyone else was going to find out. What made this even more remarkable was that Kirk didn't mention any of the whispers, remarks, or suspicions surrounding his earlier statement. Many wondered if he was being quiet because the drama was more than he expected, or if he simply didn't care about the reaction. The longer he remained silent, the more people thought he had something to say that he was unable to retract. Rashida continued to conduct herself as usual, but a perceptive follower saw that she no longer liked some of the remarks she would typically respond to. It could have been a coincidence, but in the middle of all this, nothing felt like coincidence anymore. Admirers assumed she was staying neutral to protect her brand, or that she didn't want to escalate anything on behalf of her spouse. And then, precisely when folks felt they had seen every twist possible, something small happened on Yandy's page that swung the flow again. Without notice, she erased some prior posts that admirers were utilizing as receipts to develop their own tales. The messages weren't contentious in themselves, but many argued she erased them because people were misrepresenting their meaning. The deletions rapidly became a conversation subject on their own, making the entire scenario feel even more uncomfortable and unpredictable. The removed posts became the new center of attention within minutes. Supporters started comparing images of her page from earlier in the week to what it looked like now, pointing out every minor change as if they were investigators piecing together a riddle. Some felt she was cleaning up her feed to avoid others mistaking her intentions, while others believed she was trying to suppress anything Kirk's words might have stirred up, even though she didn't explain a thing. The quiet around the deletions produced a type of tension that everyone could feel. Then came a twist nobody anticipated coming. On Twitter, someone posted a brief video clip claiming to have seen Yandy unintentionally go live for a brief moment. Yandy's voice sounded like she was in the middle of a sentence before she abruptly stopped the stream, and her face appeared hazy in the less than 2-second footage. Most likely, it was just an accidental click, but the internet has a way of turning mistakes into complete tales. Some started speculating she might have been addressing the subject privately and clicked the wrong button. Others said she probably didn't even know she went live at all. But the conjecture spread so rapidly that some began insisting she appeared agitated in the half-second footage. With the rumor growing that she might have been discussing about Kirk before halting the live. Other bloggers chimed in. One channel published a 20-minute video breaking down the clip frame by frame, studying her surroundings and trying to identify who she might have been chatting to. They pointed out the expression on her face, the way her hair was slightly untidy, and the fact that she seemed to be indoors with dim illumination. None of it verified anything, yet viewers ate it up like it was brand new evidence. Meanwhile, supporters were beginning to worry about Mendizi's quiet. He rarely went offline unless he was traveling or occupied with family, but he had been offline for days. People started to question if he was purposefully avoiding social media in order to avoid saying something he would regret, because neither appeared to be the case. Mendizi's didn't like how Kirk made that proposal concerning Yandy's background, according to a gossip page. And he thought it wasn't anyone's business to bring up prior problems in public, especially without context. Once more, there was no evidence. But the notion that Mendizi's were secretly furious fit so well with the prevailing narrative that it was immediately accepted. On top of all this, friction between fan bases grew heavier. Some started supporting Kirk, stating he never accused anyone explicitly, and that it was the supporters that carried his comment too far. Others retaliated, claiming that Kirk knew exactly what he was doing and that he made an ambiguous comment knowing that it would be picked up and turned into a scandal. The debates in the comment sections were so intense that editors on a few of pages started removing threads completely because they were turning into personal assaults. As this back and forth continued, another weird moment occurred. Place, Yandy took a selfie in her living room while sporting a casual ensemble and grinning slightly at the camera. At first glance, the image seemed serene, as if she was attempting to convey that she wasn't disturbed. The description was straightforward: peace is priceless. However, people examined the image more closely than they usually would because of the date. They saw that her grin was a touch guarded and her eyes appeared a little worn out. Fans commented that, although the picture was lovely, it didn't completely conceal the weight she might be carrying. Some said she was making it clear that she wouldn't let the turmoil to wear her down. Others commented that she appeared to be attempting to maintain her strength while secretly in pain, just when the talk felt like it might ease down. Something very strange happened. An older interview of Kirk appeared in which he talked about keeping things real in reality TV and not pretending to be flawless. In the interview, he said that occasionally cast members hide things to protect their image. He didn't identify anyone, but the clip was manipulated by a fan to incorporate Yandy's recent cryptic remarks directly after his statements, making it look like Kirk had been pointing at her all along. That altered video went viral and stoked the flames that was starting to cool. People started stating that Kirk had been hinting at troubles with Yandy for much longer than anyone understood, observing how others were utilizing the tape. Several fans defended Yandy by arguing the editing was misleading and that Kirk was probably referring to general cast behavior. However, the harm had already been done. Once the clip blew out, it felt like the dispute had entered a new level where even moments from years ago were being brought back and related to the present. In the thick of this wildfire, Rashida eventually uploaded a story of her own. It was neither sinister nor dramatic, and it made no reference of the circumstance. She simply videotaped herself at her boutique, helping a customer and smiling. But viewers didn't see ordinary, they saw planning. By demonstrating her routine, they claimed she knew exactly what she was doing. Some think she was gently distancing herself from Kirk's words. Others assumed that she was holding off on speaking until things were resolved, especially because she typically stays away from complicated plots unless she is personally involved. The idea that manufacturers were purposefully remaining silent started to gain traction as the situation worsened. A hint or teaser about upcoming episodes is typically dropped by a cast member when drama like this appears online. This moment, nobody spoke a single thing. People speculated that the producers would exploit all of this chaos in the upcoming season because of that silence. Every post, rumor, deleted story, and was likely being printed out at a production office and put on a board like evidence in a detective series. Enthusiasts joked. The notion felt believable because the drama had the exact blend of tension, intrigue, and personal stakes that reality TV thrives on. Then came the unexpected twist. According to a tiny podcast, they received a direct message from someone in the circle claiming that Yandy had already privately challenged Kirk. They stated the chat wasn't explosive, but it wasn't nice either. The DM claims that Yandy demanded an explanation for why Kirk initially made that ambiguous remark. The insider claimed that Kirk tried explaining it wasn't meant to attack her, but Yandy wasn't convinced and felt the timing was too convenient to be innocent, although the information wasn't made public by the podcast. The host discussed it with such assurance that listeners couldn't help but think anything might have occurred off camera. People noted, Yandy made one more modest gesture as they took in this new aspect of the narrative. She tweeted a photo of a handwritten note on her desk that said, "Protect your name when others try to use it." Once again, she didn't address anything directly, but the message was unambiguous. While others said she was being dramatic and purposefully prolonging the matter, her fans showered her with messages, encouraging her to be strong. And the story began to develop into something more than a mere rumor or a misinterpreted remark as all of these responses swirled around her. People had the impression that they were seeing a silent conflict involving borders, pride, and unsaid tension in real time, and everyone sensed that this wasn't the end of it. Something else was going to happen. Something that would either clear the air or make things even more confusing. And that expectation continued rising by the hour as more people entered the conversation and added their own theories to the pile. The discourse around Yandy's strange posts, Kirk's unclear comments, and Mendeece's silence had developed into something far bigger than anyone expected. Folks were now treating every move the actors made as if it were part of a chess game where no one wanted to expose their next piece too soon. And just as it appeared that the drama may begin to subside, something fresh emerged that changed the course of events. A minor account published a voice note they claimed originated from someone who overheard a dispute between members of the cast at an event. The voice was muffled, impossible to understand, and there was no confirmation it was real. But the internet didn't care. The voice note, according to the uploader, captured someone who sounded like Yandy saying that she was tired of being used for other people's storylines. Although there was so much background noise in the video that it could have been anyone talking about anything. Fans quickly interpreted it as proof that she and Kirk had confronted one another. Within minutes, the voice note was everywhere, and everyone was trying to decode whose voice was whose. Some claimed the irritation in the voice sounded just like Yandy's tone when she was agitated. Others maintained that it sounded like someone entirely different, and that it couldn't possibly be her. However, the content of the words fit too, precisely with what people believed she might say. So the discussion kept developing, extending over pages and comment sections. Meanwhile, Kirk unexpectedly shared a picture of himself sitting on a couch, staring at his phone with an extremely serious expression. The caption simply wrote, "People hear what they want to hear." That one statement reversed the entire topic again. Fans disagreed as to whether he was referring to the voice message, the rumors, or the way his prior statement was misrepresented. Regardless of his intentions, the tweet created a sense of suspense that led others to believe he wasn't finished. Additionally, Rashida seemed to want to avoid whatever Kirk was stirring up because she didn't like or comment on the post at around the same time. Yandy returned to her typical blogging schedule, sharing fragments of her day, behind-the-scenes experiences, and family movies. But even in her typical posts, people looked for hidden meanings. In one article, she showed herself sipping tea while sitting outdoors on her patio. And someone noted in the comments that it appeared like she was cooling off after dealing with unnecessary drama. Another claimed she looked tranquil, as if she had already gone past the problem. However, some said that her quiet was a ploy to make Kirk appear untidy while she continued to project an air of superiority. Mendeece's finally returned online, but not in the way anyone expected. He shared a basic boomerang of himself heading into a gym, his face serene, almost unreadable. "Focus is everything," was the caption, and followers debated what he meant for the entire day. Some took it as him dismissing the controversy, while others believed he was implicitly responding to Kirk by demonstrating he wasn't upset. Even though he wasn't speaking, several admirers claimed that his return felt like a warning shot, as if he was informing everyone that he was still watching. Then something genuinely surprising occurred. A blogger who frequently wrote about caste conflict claimed to have gotten a message stating that producers had intervened to speak with both families in private. They claimed that the web situation had gotten so bad that producers didn't want it to become uncontrollable. The blogger said the meeting wasn't filmed, but that producers aggressively warned everyone to avoid sharing anything that may be perceived as fuel. Fans adored the notion of a covert rendezvous behind closed doors, but it was unclear whether this was genuine or not. The biggest twist came when a tiny throwaway comment from Yandy attracted people's attention. During an IG Q&A session, someone asked her how she deals with people trying to test her patience. She replied with, "Everyone learns eventually not to play with what they can't handle." Her answer wasn't dramatic, wasn't addressed at anyone, and could have meant absolutely anything. However, the phrase fit well with the current narrative, and the internet soon called it her boldest indirect message yet. Fans analyzed that line from every perspective. As was to be anticipated. Some felt she was referring about life in general. Others believed she was plainly alluding to Kirk. Some speculated that she might be discussing the industry or fictitious friends. However, the interpretation that gained the greatest support was the one that related it directly to the current predicament. Some said it sounded like someone who wasn't backing down, someone who was calm but firm, someone who had more to say but was choosing to keep it classy. After his previous message, Kirk stayed remarkably silent, which only heightened the tension. For someone who generally likes being part of conversations about relationships, family, and devotion, his sudden stillness felt odd. Some admirers speculated that he was attempting to wait it out because he presumably didn't anticipate his ambiguous remark to turn into a full-fledged tempest. Others assumed he was being silent because he realized he couldn't take back what he had implied, even if he wanted to. Whatever the reality was, his silence generated an unpleasant sensation that something greater might be building behind the scenes, with both sides providing minor hints and fans throwing gasoline to every spark. Some started arguing this wasn't about one statement anymore. It had evolved into a conflict between pride, reputations, and long-simmering emotions. Whether deliberate or not, every action seemed planned, and people were watching everything as if they were anticipating the next installment of a television program. And then, in the middle of the continual back and forth, Yandy added a long paragraph on her narrative. It wasn't intended at anyone and didn't specify any names. She wrote about having faith in oneself, remaining anchored, rejecting distractions, and refusing to let other people dictate your story. It was calm, thoughtful, and written in her normal, motivating tone. However, even though it seemed serene, viewers thought they could detect a deeper message under the surface. Something meant for someone special. The final word in the tale, "Truth doesn't fear storms," stopped everyone. Once that line went up, the entire internet reacted instantaneously. Some felt she was formally stepping into the matter without stepping into it. She seemed to be closing the chapter, according to others. And a few pointed out that the wording made it sound like she was ready for something else to come. Maybe another rumor. Maybe another comment. Maybe something that hadn't appeared yet. Kirk remained silent. Mendeces didn't respond. Rashida stayed in business mode. But the fans understood the vibe had moved again, and it left everyone wondering what the next step would be. Because nothing about the situation felt entirely settled. There was a sensation that the air was still electrified, that the story still had room to twist, that someone somewhere could still have something to say. And as everything seemed to slow down, a peculiar calm settled over the whole scene. No one from the cast said anything explicitly. No one verified or denied anything. And no one addressed the whirlwind that had taken over timelines for days. But that tranquility didn't feel like closure. It reminded me of the calm moment just before someone chooses to retreat or retaliate. Fans were left staring at their TVs, wondering if everyone was just catching their breath before the following wave, or if the quiet indicated the storm had passed. The fact that every family moved in a distinct way added to the intensity. Yandy continued to post her serene messages. Kirk remained silent but vigilant. Rashida concentrated on her businesses. And Mendices replied with that serene gaze that conveyed to others that he was simply picking his moment rather than ignoring anything. And that's precisely why viewers were unable to turn away. Everyone could tell that this chapter might be finishing, but the story itself was far from ended. And when the truth does eventually come to light, whether through an interview, a scene, a post, or a mistake, people will recall every enigmatic statement, every nuanced post, and every whisper that preceded it. If you've been watching this unfold with us, now's your chance to jump into the conversation. Tell me what you believe took place behind the scenes. Do you believe that Yandy's communications were timely coincidences or direct answers? Do you believe Kirk meant what people think he meant? Or was it all taken out of context? And what do you think Mendices is truly experiencing through all this? Put your opinions in the comments, since I want to hear your take on it. Additionally, if you've been following the drama, please ring the bell to always be the first to know when the next installment of this narrative is released. Like this video and subscribe to avoid missing the next twist.